get prepared for all of us to stay, because there's no way in hell that we're leaving.
We are asking the University of Pittsburgh to acknowledge our movement to divest.
Free, free, free Palestine!
Free, free, free Palestine!
And we don't want our money going to fund the military-industrial complex.
We understand our taxpayer dollars, our tuition money going to fund a genocide.
They thought that after they shot us down on May 4th, 1970, it would bring the growing anti-war movement to its knees, but it backfired. We did bring that war to its knees. Students in America did that.
I think I'm proud to be a part of something as historic as this. I think it sounds kind of corny, and I'm not the first person to say this, but you do wonder like what you would have done during certain parts of history, especially when it's something that doesn't impact you directly. And I think that this is about time to challenge myself to think about what I would do, and that's what I'm doing now. So yeah.
It's okay.
We are here in our second day of our encampment in physical solidarity of disapproval of our administration's policy in support of Israel. It is finals week, and despite that, you have students from all walks of life coming together in camaraderie and support of this movement, of support of Palestinian human rights.
We as students are horrified. All of us are barely adults, and now we are trying to end the war machine.
The aura and the vibe that people have created here has been so calming, knowing that I'm not alone in this and that I'm not the only person that cares about this, that I'm one of many.
I think campus organizing, I think being here with the people that you care about in your community is practicing Jewish values, is being part of a community.
For the past 7-8 months, I've been fueled by this constant sense of outrage and panic and just moving as fast as I can to mobilize people.
But at the end of the day, we're 20-year-old college students. We still have to do finals during this time, and we see students that are just like us across the nation facing extreme violence.
Instead of defending my thesis this week, I spent it in the ER with a severe concussion.
During a prayer, the police decided to attack the crowd. People were being pulled by their hair, police were choking people, punching people in their chests.
We have been traumatized as a community by OSU PD, who called in state troopers on their students.
Shenley Plaza looking a lot different tonight than it did back on Sunday.
The protest clashed with law enforcement, leading to at least 2 people being taken away in handcuffs.
They started getting really aggressive, not really giving us much of a warning as to why they were getting aggressive. The situation escalated very quickly, and police just started shoving people, and I was right at the front lines.
I didn't realize today was the last day.
Yeah, it's because of those guys over there.
Yeah, I'm sitting in front of the cops.
So our first day, it was a really rocky start. It was very clear that our administration wanted to silence this encampment as soon as possible.
This morning, a group of protesters set up an encampment demanding the school divest from Israel.
Police, they moved in quickly with zip ties in hand.
Students here set up a tent. We sat down in the tent. In response, Case Western Reserve University Police Department came in, tore down our tent, and detained and arrested 21 students.
Everyone here is here to get a degree and here to further themselves, but even beyond that, I think they don't want that to hinder them from standing up for what they believe in.
On one side, more than 24 National Guardsmen with guns. On the other, unarmed activists angry at President Nixon.
The Guardsmen opened fire on the students.
I was one of tens of thousands of students on May 4th, 1970, gathering on college campuses with plans to go on a national student strike until the war that Nixon had just escalated came to an end.
Our tuition money through the university's investment portfolio continues to profit from war and aggression.
These students are going through what we went through in 1970, when Richard Nixon, our president, called college protesters bums. Spiro Agnew likened us to the Nazis and the Ku Klux Klan.
We want the president of our university, who has been stuck in this ivory tower here behind me, to retract his statements that each and every one of you guys are hate mongers and are anti-Semitic. We're here to advocate for human rights.
So they're definitely conflated because people don't know what they mean, right? People think Zionism is Judaism is Israel. It's all the same thing, and it's absolutely not. Zionism is a 19th century, 20th century concept. It did not start way back in the time that we became Jews, that the Jewish people found their story and came together. So I think the media is absolutely wrong about who's here and what we're doing. I think there's more Jewish students on these campuses than people think, and that it's not anti-Semitic to be here. It's not anti-Semitic to have these values. And it's really dissonant for me as a Jewish person. It makes me feel unsafe that Israel is conflated with my Jewish identity. That's what makes me feel unsafe.
Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine!
So students historically have been on the right side of history, except they're quickly characterized by media and people in power and politicians as freaks, as radicals, as dangerous people. We oftentimes get characterized as terrorists, and that is a very common tactic used against people of my skin color, of my religious background, of my ethnicity. And we don't stand for it. We stand for peace and justice for all people.
I think this is a very important moment for us to learn from all the different encampments and student activisms in various universities.
The NYPD taking control and moving in on Columbia's campus tonight at the university's request.
Protesters were ordered to disperse yesterday. They refused at that time.
All right, police in riot gear right now. You hear the flashbangs there, but the police, they are breaching the barrier.
Dozens of Virginia Tech students under arrest.
Just trying to control this crowd. It was peaceful, but then the cops came in. We have to situate everything that is happening in the United States and remembering that we will only see here a microcosm of the greater system at large that is making it so that people of Gaza are dying in mass.
Because after all of our activism aims at one goal: to divest our university's money from all those institutions that are sending help, sending aid to the state of Israel, and to continue its fund its war against the people of Palestine.
With so much of Gaza destroyed, for many, even when the bombs stop falling, there may be nowhere left to go.
When we sleep in tents here on our own campus, there is a much broader context here in which the people of Gaza right now are living in tents, except they are facing extreme weather conditions. They are facing bombardment and bombing. They have lost family members and are dealing with immense grief and trauma. They are dealing with severe injuries, severe starvation. This is not about us.
When it comes to interaction between us and our administration, they have been reluctant to directly interact with us.
The university says they welcome the freedom of speech as long as it's the right time, place, and manner.
We hear them, but at the same time, the protest must be done in a manner that is appropriate, and the encampment was not appropriate.
So the only time the administration has been, responsive to students on this campus is when we've mobilized.
And what we did is we had a single tent in the middle and we put community members inside. And then we formed concentric rings of students outside to make it very, very difficult for police to break through. And I think that was a huge symbolic demonstration for the university of the fact that we are not moving anytime soon.
1, 2, 3, 4. Trip here to the Ivory Tower here at Case Western Reserve University. I am going to post our demands right on this front door, cannot be missed, so our administrators can be reasonable and see what we're asking for, since the president can't walk down the street.